Era 2027. O Brasil tinha mudado. A festa mais importante do país não era mais o carnaval. Era a festa do amor supremo. A grande espera pela volta do Messias.
I think divine love is about the controlling, the biopolitical control of the body, for me. And that's why I try to speculate this near future in Brazil in 2007. I'm trying to say that this fine line between a secular state and non-secular state is always been blurred. I try to create a future that's not that too far from what we're living and facing now as a Brazilian issue. You know? It's a totally new religion, almost like a white cube without image, only with the presence of the pastor and the fidels and what they are creating in terms of affection, fondness. It's really about performance, you know. So that's why I was very intrigued to create a very like artificial world where we are faced in terms of nationalism, populism, religiousness, and the control of the body in this conservative agenda.
A redenção do corpo. O sentimento mais puro. A jura do amor eterno.
These religions especially are very empty, so I had only the tool of the light, the smoke, and the music to create spirituality in the movie. In my previous movie called Neon, I in some way the characters had some dreams, but the dreams was not confirmed in the movie. No, it was kept suspended. So everybody had dreams, but the dreams are moving their life, and the movie shows the moment where they are fighting for the dreams. No, so in Divine Love, I tried to confirm the dreams, like she's the main character in the movie. Joana is deserving to be mother, to belong to the Christian family, and she's fight for that. She's doing everything for that. The dream become truth, but the truth is beyond she was expecting. So what happens when we have something that is so much bigger than what we were expecting? That's more about this in this the destiny of dreaming. This in Divine Love movie.
Tá faltando alguma coisa aí?
I like to play with expectations more than a fanatic of gender. Like, it's more like how to play with expectation, especially if I'm dealing with something that are connected to the subject. We are facing dictatorships where we don't know clearly if it's a dictatorship or not. We are facing like even more conservative agendas and religion state where we are not clear that it is like theocracy or not. So for me, it's the most important thing is to look after this gray zone and create even more gray zone to play with. It's curious because all the tradition of the dystopia are based on the idea of creating a character that has the clear antagonist system. So is the character fight against the system. And in my movie, I tried to create a dystopia where the character recognized that as a utopia. For her, this world is good and could be even better, and she's working to make it better. We as an audience are as much as, oh, fuck, what's happening? So we create this ambivalence of what she's fighting for and what we are fighting for her. No? Her belief is even bigger than the institution beliefs. That's the point I want to cross.
Isaac! 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 Volta aqui! O cachorro tá no cio! Já para aqui! Não consigo daí! Ei, fora! Fora! Ei!
I think Dira Paz, the actress in Brazil, she's very famous. She's really part of Brazilian culture. She's a very special actress, and she really could make it happen because it was not easy. It's a film about faith, and her faith is really strong. When you are making a movie about faith, the most challenging thing that you never doubt about the faith of the character.
O amor não é invejoso. Não se porta com indecência. Não busca os seus interesses.
These religions especially are very updated. So it's a religion where the pastors are very independent from their leaders or from the leaders. So they can create everything they can by their own interpretation of the Bible. A very important thing to say that in Brazil there is not only one evangelism. No, it's a lot of different doctrines, lots of different practice. So it's impossible to talk about one evangelism, one Christianism. And I would try to address my interpretation, my allegory of this state of world. For me, it was very important to finish the movie with an uncontrolled body, without register, without document, without birth certificate, without name, without nothing.
O Brasil de Joana tinha fé no futuro. Não precisava de templos fechados. Falava direto com Deus, olhando para o céu.
The film has a voiceover of a boy where he's talking about the past. So actually it's a film set in 2027. So he's talking about something that happened. It's almost some kind of memory from the past that has gone. And that make us even more curious to know about the time he's speaking.
A medida do amor era amar sem medida. A vontade de lutar era a esperança de vencer.
The choice for being a boy or could be a girl, but I felt some point with sound opportunities for me, using an agenda, opportunities just to be a girl, to look like a feminist, pro-feminism agenda, and I think that it could come in a more organic way. Me as a male director, for me it's very important to talk about and think about the representation of the female body in cinema. The tradition in the Bible talk about infertility as a female issue, but in my movie, I tried to show this issue totally connected to the male situation. In the history of cinema, we have seen lots of images, in thousands of movies about a woman being scanned to check if the baby is fine or not. For us, we some way normalize this image, but when Divine Love shows the image of the guy, the man lying in the medical bed being analyzed, his testicles, exam. So it's very strong. It shows how the same image, just we change the perspective, can be very disruptive. No, I felt so much more honest talking about these new masculinities than to use just opportunistic way a female body to portray myself and make a checkpoint. No.
Boa noite, irmão.
Boa noite, irmão. Cadê o Danilo?
O Danilo não pôde vir hoje. Eu vim rapidinho falar com a mestra Dalva.
A senhora sabe das regras.
Não, é só hoje.
Por favor, irmão. A senhora sabe que eu não posso fazer isso.
Por favor, irmão.
Brazil has changed politically very fast, so we premiered the movie the same week that the new president became in the government. So did you write like in 1 month ago, like during the election? No, actually you start writing 4 years before. So this is really a coincidence, but I never try to think script as something stuck. So for me it's always changing. But of course in this scale of production I had to take some decisions. I really like to work in collaboration. The team of script writers are big, the editing team is big. It's always nice to me to create like a huge immersion and see what happens and then change and then come back with new experiments. I really appreciate to feel that as part of a collective work, and I'm very happy to have all these names in the credits together. It is very curious to think about the editing of this movie. Actually, there's not a lot to do in terms of the editing internally because it's a long shot. So basically, the contribution is more think about the atmosphere and totality of the project, of the movie, and how this scene here of this length has a huge impact. And someone can just, a collaboration can be, if this scene comes like 10 minutes earlier, the film changed completely. It's more about the rhythm and to feel that together as a piece, no, in terms of the totality. So it's a very different editing collaboration to work in this kind of movie. It's more the feeling of the atmosphere of the whole movie.
Senhora, o resultado do seu exame.
Obrigada.
Yeah, Diego is a very talented guy, very, very special, and in this movie I could have the experience of putting him together to work before, in advance, working with the production design, thinking about some aspects in terms of how we can bring the light, not to light the scene, but the light as an object, the light as a symbol, the light as part of their spirituality. Of course, I would love to see how the movie could create different connections and beyond the art circuit. But I think very soon it's going to be in the internet, in the pirate, so we're going to see what's going to happen. I think the film will be really rediscovered by different people, even by evangelists, that we're going to start to know about the existence of this movie. And I'm very curious to see the reactions.